Hey, it's Simon Lovell, and welcome to this 5-day challenge, which is going to help you get your first paid pickleball client. And I want to share why I'm doing this and how I am very confident that if you follow the steps in this system, in this process, that you are going to be able to have that moment where you say, oh my God, I got my first paid client. And then, of course, you go on your journey to serving that client and serving many more clients and introducing more people into this amazing sport. Now, I want to share a bit about why I'm doing this and the background on me coming into pickleball. So I spent many years in the fitness industry helping personal trainers grow their personal training businesses or then opening their own fitness studios. I stopped doing that in 2018. Went through a bit of a spiritual journey, started to work with entrepreneurs and other people still in the space. But I came into pickleball because I got a condition called Guillain-Barré syndrome, which attacked my nerves. I wasn't able to walk. And then what happened was pickleball really helped me to recover. It's been covered by USA Pickleball. It's been covered by Fox News. My journey and mission, I got to the point where I recovered and I started to feel like I wanted to do business again. And I really said, I have so many skills because I've helped all of these personal trainers. I love this sport. Why don't I apply the same strategies that I helped to really shift those trainers in a very short period of time to create freedom in their lives so that those in pickleball can do that. I'm not sure where you are on your journey, but what I do know is that there's something happens mentally when we get our first paid client. And I know that maybe you, like my first paid client working at Picklepreneurs, maybe you want to quit your job. Maybe you want to one day open your own club, right? Maybe you're in a situation right now where you're not doing things which are really fulfilling you and you want to be spending more time on the court introducing people, whether that's a young person, whether that's someone, similar to the friends that you've introduced, but now you feel that you want to get paid for it. Well, this challenge is for you. And what I want to do is just share with you, before we go into the first day, this is kind of the pre-training in a way to set you up for where we're going to be moving for, is I want to talk about who this is for, who it's not for, what I'm not going to be covering, the big question, which is, do I need to be certified? Expectations and outcomes. I'm going to talk about daily actions, and then we'll talk a little bit about roadblocks. Okay, so first of all, who is this for? So this is for somebody who is committed to pickleball, somebody who has maybe recently certified, and now you're in that kind of zone, which is you've been certified and you're in that zone. Maybe you've been doing some lessons, helping people, right? But you've not gotten to that point where someone's, offered to pay you. Or maybe you have not invited someone to pay you, okay? So you're motivated, you're ready, and you feel like it's time, basically, all right? Who is this not for? This is definitely not for somebody who just wants to make money, right? You're doing this primarily as a financial focus. Because what happens if we just do that and we don't actually have that deeper passion is we don't go to that higher level of service. And so I really want those to come into this challenge and process who, yes, deserve to be paid, want to be paid, but you also are doing it for the right reasons, okay? So it's, and I always say this, which is it's very important for you to understand the underlying why of the reason why you're doing something, all right? What am I not covering? So I'm not going to be covering making you a better pickleball coach, as in, for example, drills and structuring how you work with somebody. I am a coach, consultant, mentor. So you are going to get coaching from me, and therefore it's going to help you as an overlying coach of how you engage with your clients, how you get better results with your clients. But I'm not going to be teaching you the structure of how you do your sessions during this 5-day challenge. I really think that it's up to you, and it's also dependent on the person that you work with and the level that you work with somebody at. Because some people going through this challenge are going to be working with beginners. Other people going through the challenge are going to be working with people more advanced. And so it's going to be difficult for me to cater to all of that. And actually, in Picklepreneurs, I'm really just focusing mainly on the business side of it. So there's, for example, there are certifications that have some of that basic information. There's, of course, a lot of other trainings on how to do drills within other platforms, right? So my focus really is the business aspect. So I don't want you to expect something from this process that isn't there, because I've got my lane and I want to stick within that. So you won't be finding pickleball drills in there here, for example. I'm going to be covering the sales, the marketing, the mindset, all of those things to help you during the process. Okay, let's dive into that big question. Do I need to be certified? Now, within the forums, if you've been within the pickleball forums, you're going to know the discussion around this, which is, I think that the certification is worthless, and someone else is like, I found it very valuable. Okay, so here's my thought on certification, also coming from the fitness industry, and I was a certified personal trainer. What certification does is it gives, I think, confidence to a lot of people. Yes, there's going to be a number of people who just get it because they want to tick that thing off, or it's actually a requirement to go into, a facility because they say you need your certification. There are going to be cases where I truly do believe that someone without certification does have the skill set to get amazing results with people. And ultimately, the factor on what is a successful client and coach relationship is results. So if deep down inside of you, you're against certification, you believe in yourself and you're really great at what you do, and you believe in yourself progressing in that way, and you feel like you have everything down, then I would say go for it. I'm also going to say that I really do think that for a lot of people, certification is the good way to go because it builds confidence, and there's information in there where even if it's one simple thing that you take from that and it really does help your clients and you, it's going to be worth it. So my personal recommendation is that you do get certified, and there's the insurance aspect. Remember that, right? So you do have to look at liability. But I'm not covering certification. I'm not covering liability in this. This is a business training. This is a get your first paid client training, okay? So the question is, do you need to be certified? No, you don't. I recommend it, okay? There's so many multiple variables when it comes into this conversation. And really, I'm not having a one-to-one conversation with you. I don't exactly understand your situation. That's down to the individual. But I really don't want to come onto this challenge and say you have to be certified in order to get paid, because the reality is you don't. And the reality is there's plenty of other industries where people get amazing results with people. They change their lives. They help them get into certain situations. And those people did not get a certification, right? They've gone down a different path, a holistic path, whatever that path you want to call it. So that's my viewpoint on that. Okay. Expectations and outcomes. I really wanted to, do this pre-training to the training, because I really do want to emphasize, because I have coached hundreds of people over the years in multiple different industries, but a lot of the time in the fitness industry. And what I can tell you is that, there's information and then there's systems and processes. And what I'm giving you here essentially is a formula. It's a system. It's a process. You follow it, and you're going to get results. But let's be realistic. How many people go through something and then don't complete it, right? Like one little thing, or, there's some kind of thing going on and suddenly they stop, and it's a form of self-sabotage. The next first training, actually, I'm going to be covering a lot of mindset. The whole focus is going to be on mindset. So what I would say is trust the process, commit to go through it, but what you should expect and what you should set for yourself as a goal is to get that first paid client. But it's going to take a level of self-awareness, right? For you to understand, okay, what action did I take? Did I actually skip through that? Was I, not present doing the training, and I was not all there and I didn't actually take that action? If you want to move your business forward, just like in pickleball, right? You get that progression. You start off somewhere and then you get those moments where people are saying, oh my God, you've improved. Yeah, well, the reason why you've done that is because you've shown up, you've been on the pickleball court, you've taken the shots, you've taken the coaching, whether that is hiring somebody or whether that is from someone else on the court, and then you make changes and adjustments and then you get different results and then suddenly you improve. Well, it's the same thing in business. You have to come into this with the mindset of it's very similar actually to pickleball, but you have to show up. You've got to do the work. At the end of the day, you're not going to improve in pickleball unless you show up and play games, unless you do the drills and get those reps in. And so a lot can come up with people when they start something new. And that's why I wanted to do this challenge, because a big hurdle for people, especially when they certify, is that gap between certification and actually getting their first client. And I know what happens when you get that first client. It's such a mental shift. It's not just a financial win. It's not just a win for the person that you're working with because you're helping them improve. It's a win mentally because something happens where it builds your confidence and you're like, oh my God, I can do that again. So this training is very, very important. And then finally, let's talk about roadblocks, right? So like anything, if you're going through a self-study, essentially what this is, and of course you're going to have access to the community too, so you can ask questions, you have to be aware of where you get stuck. Because if you just go through this whole training, I would not recommend going through this whole training and then just expecting yourself to just glide through and get clients. I would do it step by step, and I would stop and I would take actions, do the training each day, and then take the actions. All right? Because it's designed in a process for a reason. Otherwise, what you're going to do is you're going to create overwhelm for yourself. But, over the years, the reason why I've progressed in my businesses and life was because I've always been willing to hold my hand up and ask questions and then get feedback. And that's, why the community is there. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description, go and access the community so you can post questions. If I happen to, have a call or there's a call, make sure you show up for those and move through, because really that coaching relationship is very important, because it's going to enable you to ask a question, get clarity, and then move through, because we always get stuck if there's just information. That's what we have to understand, right? There's information. I learn something, then I action it. Oh, but maybe you come to the training, which I'm going to be doing on the, getting clients from Facebook and all that. And then there's certain things that come up. So asking questions, getting clarity so that you move forward is actually really key. So what am I going to be covering during the training? Okay. So on day one, I'm going to be covering, and this is going to be the next training, super high performance mindset. Okay. All of the different things, getting you in the right headspace, not actually just for getting your first client, but actually a foundation to move you forward. So we'll be talking about your fears. We'll be talking about understanding state, commitment, accountability. And actually a lot of these things are going to apply to you working with clients too. So they'll actually roll over. All right. Then we're going to move on to day 2, pricing and positioning. When to move to paid from free, how much to charge. I'll do a pricing exercise with you. We'll talk about websites, branding, other stuff, and the offer that you're going to make. Then on day 3, you can see it's a bit more extensive. We're going to talk about Facebook groups. We're going to talk about video. We're going to talk about open play. We're going to be talking about your social media. We're going to be talking about phone calls, those initial conversations that you're having. Okay, very, very important. Then we're going to be talking about how to get paid, which is really the sales conversation that you're going to have with people on day 4. Very, very important. Some of you are going to be find that easier than others. I'll also cover that in the mindset training. And then on day 5, we're going to be talking about that first paid session. So as much as I'm not going to be giving you a drills and a structure for that session, I also do want to, because once you get paid, you've then got to deliver. And so there's going to be maybe a bit of hesitation between that time of you getting paid and actually doing the session. So I want to set you up ready for that session so that then you get your wins don't just come from getting paid, because that will be a mental milestone. But the other one is actually leaving that session going, do you know what? They really got value from that. They actually want to carry on working with me, which is also what I'm going to set you up for too. All right. Because it's not just about that first client. I've had people work with me for years because I've actually helped them to level up and level up and level up. Right. So we all go through different milestones. So this is going to be it's going to be a big first milestone, but I also want to, and you can see they're planting some first seeds. I actually going to plant some seeds with you to help you so that then you can move into the next stages of your business. Actually, this yellow band represents actually the first stage in the Picklepreneurs process for coaches. And then you've got this green band, which is moving up into the next stage. And then we've got this black band. So right now you're in yellow, and really to complete yellow stage, what we've got to do is not just get you paid, but actually have you make sure that session is a success for both people, so that exchange of money feels good to you, and it also feels really great to the person who's made that investment. I'm also just going to say, make sure that you really value this training, right? Really believe that you actually invested far more in it to make it successful versus not taking it seriously. And the reason why is that what I'm sharing with you is not just an idea that I've had. It's actually a process based upon me working with clients and them getting results and actually what they've done. So I'm taking that and I'm just giving it to you so that you can get that win. So be a great client and actually follow through. All right, I will see you in day 1, where we're going to do a deeper dive into everything around setting yourself up mentally to grow your pickleball business. And I'll see you there.